where the games aren't being played. The Drive needs something to fill the void. Movies and sports collide with the daily sports movie breakdown. Settle in as The Drive picks apart the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, and the funny of another classic sports movie.
Hey, bada.
Teach me. I can do it.
You are not Japanese. You are not a Tanaka.
You told me, using any technique that works, never to limit myself to one style, to keep an open mind.
What?
To honor you, Shidoshi.
Bloodsport. I don't even know if Jay was serious or not when he put that movie in, but it won. And let's say this, Dave. Jay has to take care of something real fast. So before we get his input on that, maybe I'll start because I was the only one of the three that had not seen this.
I'm so excited for your review.
And I told Jay I didn't want to tell him anything. I had thoughts on this movie, and I think I need to start with an apology.
Oh, really?
I need to apologize to Rocky IV. Rocky IV is fantastic. Rocky IV's montages fit. Rocky IV is cinematic treasure. I apologize for everything I said about Rocky IV. Now, with that said, Bloodsport might have been the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I was laughing. I was like, okay, Jay had said, no, it's bad, it's good. It's one of those kind of things. Like, okay, but it's not going to be fun. I mean, this is just going to be, I don't want to see this. I was not interested.
Right.
I didn't really care. I figured out kind of what it would be, and it was, but it was great. It was so much fun. I don't even know why that doesn't make any sense to me. But some of the notes I took, for one, you kind of let it in that Ogre was in it, so I was excited to see him. Something Jackson.
Frank Jackson.
Frank Jackson.
Or not Frank, Ray Jackson. Went on to be a part of the Fab Five of Michigan.
He was very versatile in his career. But at first they were calling him Jackson. I'm like, wait, is that his name? But it was Ray Jackson, yeah. So he was in it, but I did not know, and that's one of my favorite things of either rewatching movies or seeing one, in this case for the first time, some of the cameos. I did not know Forrest Whitaker was in this.
I had forgotten, Jason, that Oscar winner Forrest Whitaker, fresh off Fast Times at Ridgemont High, was in this movie.
Okay, Kid Van Damme is either the greatest or the worst thing I've ever seen, and it's probably both. Right. Kid Van Damme is fantastic. We already talked earlier about the accents that he goes through, whether he's trying to be specific on one, but I think he hits about 8 accents in the movie, which makes it horrible and great.
You had to also love... I can't get over the San Francisco Giants hat and the New York Giants shirt. That's just a writer or an editor or whoever is in charge of that going, oh, Giants, yeah, perfect.
It's just such a great combo, and that's early in the movie. I love the mean Miyagi, the Tanaka training. I mean, there's parts of a lot of movies that we've seen that are in this. I mean, there's montages everywhere. There's the training. There's, you're going to be as good as, or you can't be as good as me, but let me learn from the master. So he's Miyagi, but he's mean. He's and he's ruthless, but he's toughening up Frank Dukes here. We talked earlier about the tooth incident. That one was amazing. And then, the time when I checked in yesterday when you were watching it and streaming it was when I said earlier in the show when he's being basically split like a wishbone and between the twigs. And I'm like, okay, when is he going to use this? Well, when he used it against Big Jumbo Guy and he does the splits and does the upper punch to the nuts, I mean, that was exactly your reaction there. I'm like, what? I mean, I'm just cracking up because it's funny, it's weird, and then Chong Li, who's this invincible figure, like no one's gonna beat him. The fact that I'm gonna kill you, like he's calling people out. He hurts Jackson. You think he kills him, but he puts him to the hospital. Takes his bandana, and so when it's time for him to fight Frank Dukes, the fact that he throws that mystery dust, the Tums, the cocaine, whatever it is that blinds him, and then
that nobody caught,
that nobody else saw, nobody else thought it was suspicious. And then we get the best version of Frank Dukes. The acting then, of being blinded and going back to being blindfolded in his training. Again, all of it is so bad. It's so good. It was so entertaining. And then, I got to take this line from a texter because this is great, because I wrote down this note too. In regards to Bloodsport, the social climate was different when two guys can play a coin grab challenge for a woman. Right. But even that was a good bit too. That it was entertaining, but it was a hot mess. So again, I apologize to Rocky IV because it was much better than I gave it credit for. But this movie, I thoroughly enjoyed for some reason.
Oh, Rocky IV was like The Godfather 1 and 2, quality-wise, compared to Bloodsport. I can't tell you how happy I am that you're not going to like Bloodsport at all unless you just give yourself away to the cheesiness of this movie. It really is a callback to your old karate movies, complete with the just the grainy footage here and there.
Hey, one other thing, too, on that. There was a lot of music being played during this. Why was there cat sounds all the time?
I don't know.
But it was like, I thought, wait, is this significant? It was usually during the fights. And I go, wait, does that mean something? Like there was like a every time.
I actually, I was running the sound. So that's my old Kyle Madsen meow I was throwing in there.
Oh, good. Okay, then it made sense.
I had seen this. I said before, the first roommate I ever had when I was 18. He and I were huge Van Damme fans, and this was in prime Van Damme time. You had Bloodsport, you had Time Cop, you had Hard Target, you had obviously Lionheart, Kickboxer, all the classics, and Bloodsport was really the classic Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. So we would build events around when his movies would come out on tape or DVD and watch them together. And we would just pop in Bloodsport all the time. Had a big 5-gallon laundry bucket gravity bong in the house and a black light. And man, it was on. So we would watch this movie over and over and over again. I hadn't seen it, though, in over a decade. So some things I noticed that I didn't really notice before. I'll start with this. Much as I pushed the narrative that in Lord of the Rings there was more going on between Frodo and Samwise than met the eye, I'm sorry, but there was just a ton of sexual tension between Frank Dukes and Ogre. They knew each other 10 minutes.
From a video game.
From a video game, and Ogre sexually harassing this poor lady on the bus. That's how they met. And somehow that gave away to a full montage after Ogre got his head split, and it would complete with flashbacks to the 5 minutes they'd spent together. And then, of course, the end scene where you had Dukes and Ogre in the hospital bed, and they're
and Ogre drinking.
Holding the Ogre drinking a light beer, and anytime, anywhere, come on. And Ogre, of course, pulling when you've got the champion hurt.
Oh, he celebrated way too early.
And Chong Li did the same thing against Frank Dukes. When Frank Dukes had the Tums thrown in his eyes, he should have been taking multiple kicks. That's when you break the guy's neck.
Yeah.
But Chong Li instead was flexing his nipples and doing his whole thing. The splits were a huge thing in this one.
Yes.
You were right about Evil Miyagi. Like I said earlier, if Tanaka was wearing black leather, this would have been an S&M video just with how he abused Frank Dukes. Right, the whole time with he throws the karate chop at his face when he's blindfolded sitting down at dinner with the wife after he served the tea. It's like, well, what if that punch had landed? That's going to ruin dinner. The guy who says "Okay, USA," that was the line of the movie. You wonder if Chong Li, Bolo Young played Chong Li. Was there a tryout where they had 30 guys that were going to play Chong Li, and they came into the director in a casting room, and they all had to say, "You are next." Was there different? Did somebody lose the role because they didn't do it right? It was just a cacophony of awesome cheeseball and the montage songs.
Yes.
The blonde Marky Post looking chick who they spend one night together. She basically sleeps with him to try to get into the Kumite, and he denies her. But somehow the next morning they're completely in love and staring into each other's eyes.
And she's worried about his health.
Right, and then she narcs him off.
Yeah.
She narcs him off to the Hong Kong FBI and all that. And then I guess finally, Jason, I never got clarity as to why the U.S. government had some sort of ownership over Frank Dukes.
Thank you.
Like he was a cyborg. I've never understood what the hell the pull was there.
Well, and they were so relentless on trying to find him. They get him, and then he's like, I'll go back with you tomorrow. And then they're cheering for him in the fight. I'm like, wait, that was good enough? Like, they were trying to keep him from this, and then, okay, now we're just going to cheer for you.
Called having a sense of American pride, both of you.
Wow.
But Jay, you would know this because I know you've seen all the Van Damme movies.
Oh, have I?
There's more of these?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
One will be on the poll. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
Did Lionheart steal a little bit of that Bloodsport storyline that was never explained? Remember, he was in the French Legion.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He escaped. Mm-hmm. I feel like that was a continuation of that Bloodsport story.
I feel like Van Damme went into a writer's room and was like, hey, I got this idea. I did this great movie called Bloodsport, and there's this storyline that wasn't really explained. We can explain it and sell millions because everybody loves a good extension of Bloodsport.
So good.
Oh, man.
Jay?
Yes.
Jay, you got to weigh in, though.
Oh, my gosh, did I enjoy this. Did I enjoy Ray Jackson and Frank Dukes meeting up over a game of Kung Fu in a 5-star hotel, and that's how they cement their friendship? What?
Now, were you gone? I believe you were out of the room when Jason said he apologized to Rocky IV.
No, but I heard it in the bathroom.
Oh, good. Okay.
Wow. Because that's where Jay went.
Well, here's the thing. I went to the bathroom, right? And so just a little peek behind the curtains for listeners out there is
not really.
Every hour during the day, one of the radio stations that Bonneville International, a parent company, owns, plays in the hallways during the 7 o'clock hour. It's KHTK.
Yep.
So if I go to the bathroom in the 7 o'clock hour, I'm handling business while listening to you guys.
You can hear the show.
Yeah.
It's a good timing to go.
Yeah, so I'm not really, we're apart, but we're not.
Yeah.
We're connected spiritually.
Yes.
Okay.
But there's that aspect of it. Have you guys talked about the dancing?
No, someone on the text line mentioned that.
How
at the
did
bar?
you? Dude,
Yeah.
that's like the best part of the whole movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme. What?
I'm sorry, but yeah, you're right. And then can we mention the morning after he nails Marky Post? Was it just me? Or here's what the director said. Okay, Jean-Claude, we're going to need you to take those Speedos, and we're going to need to actually have them pulled down underneath your butt cheek so we can get a shot. And action. He actually had them pulled down so his butt was exposed.
Yeah.
And then as soon as the camera gets on him, you get a flash of that beautiful Jean-Claude Van Bubble, and then he pulls him up over. And that was such a blatant ass scene for Jean-Claude Van Damme, but they pulled it off.
It's smart marketing. That's them also trying to appeal to women to get women into the box office. And by the way, this movie was a box office smash. It
was?
Yeah, it had like a $2 million budget. It ended up doing like 65 or something at the box office. They made a ton of money off this movie.
How did they spend $2 million? Was it on music rights?
Yes. And overdubs.
Yes.
But
go ahead.
But overall, yeah, fantastic movie. Some terrible martial arts choreography. I'm just going to tell you right now is bad.
Not those 3 roundhouse kicks at the end on Chong Li. That was some of the best form I've ever seen in my life.
But like the jumping kick off the referee that they close up and he clearly misses him. Like we couldn't have reshot that, put a different angle or something. Like how are you that egregious in your post editing that you actually leave that in? It's terrible.
Yeah. $2 million budget, dude.
Yeah, I guess so. Also, did anyone else feel this like internal pain watching him on that splits machine that Sensei Tanaka puts in his training?
That.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't hear that part.
All the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But of course, Frank Dukes, this monster, just rips the whole thing off, right?
Right.
Which, if you've actually ever listened to the real Frank Dukes talk, it would make sense that he would actually write that into the movie. Because this guy's out of his mind.
Really?
Oh, the real Frank Dukes is like a pathological liar.
Well, because like I said at the beginning, that floored me when the movie ends and the first credit, this based on a true story about Frank. I'm like, what?
No, this is
real.
This is based upon a true story in Frank Dukes' mind and Frank Dukes' mind only. It's been pretty much proven that his whole recollection of the kumite that he, participated in, never actually existed.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hate if you're out there thinking Frank Dukes is the man and you subscribe to Frank Dukes' website and you've done his training or whatnot, I'm here to tell you you may have made a mistake in your martial arts training.
Yeah, didn't they even say that Tanaka never existed?
Well, yeah, so I was reading up about that. They've said they can find nothing that Tanaka existed, but Frank Dukes in March of 2017 wrote an article saying he found Tanaka's death certificate, which showed he died in LA in 1975, which would contradict his own website, which said that he died in Japan.
I actually think it's all true.
I'm going with it.
Yeah, it's just such a classically, just all of it, man. There were so many montages, 80s montages, the drums, the music, the accent that young Frank Dukes had, OK USA, Ogre, and all his lines. Like, it really might be the greatest movie ever made.
I think in looking back on it now, too, again, just one watch for me. You guys watched it a ton. I think Chong Li should have spoke up in his own character. Like, there's no way he would have thrown the dust.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I mean, he was dominant, right? I'm going to kill you. You're next, And I just don't think his character would have done that. I really don't.
What would his character actually have thrown?
I don't think he would have thrown. I think he just would have beat down. I think he would have thought he could have beat down.
You think in real life Chong Li kills Frank Dukes,
or
right?
That's what he thinks he could do, right? I mean, there was no. He never cheated, as far as we knew. He didn't have to. He had the record before Frank Dukes broke it. He was the guy to beat, and he nearly kills Ray Jackson. And did he kill he killed the other guy? Didn't he? Yeah,
he did kill the other guy.
So I mean,
go ahead.
And then what? That's just. I mean, we're assuming that happened. I actually thought Jackson got killed at first. I'm like, no. And then we see him in the hospital. But then this one, we don't get the true finality, but that's what we're led to believe. So I just don't think he would have done that.
Also, some more Frank Dukes fun before we go. In 1980, he told Black Belt Magazine that his record so far, quote unquote, was 321, 1-7. And then in a 2014 interview with Access TV, he said he retired with a record of 329-0.
Oh, so it's changed.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know if those losses and draws were amended at some point, but again, if you're bored today, just Google like Frank Dukes, the real human being. It's fascinating.
My final question for you guys is this, because we kind of alluded to it, and I'm surprised they didn't do this. Is it a better movie if Ogre does get killed, and then like at the end, then Frank fights for Ogre's life and honor, and then at like the end of the movie is like Frank Dukes burying Ogre and like wrapping the Harley headband around the gravestone, and then he goes back to America? Is that a better or worse alternate ending?
Better, although sadder, but better.
Probably better and more of a real movie. That this movie couldn't have done it. They needed to do it this way.
And then like the ghost of Ogre like shows up like in Star Wars on the plane, like gives him the bow.
By the way, guys, there are 3 sequels to this movie with no Jean-Claude Van Damme, but there are Bloodsport 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, he's not in any of them?
Oh.
No.
I even like the scene where he's on the bus and he's dreaming about or seeing Chong Li, but the Chong Li off the window is just like got the craziest look about him when he's looking at the like an older man to his left. Just that was sensational.
Is Ogre is still with us? Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh,
also,
Donald Gibb.
Also,
Donald Gibb. His last movie was Hancock in 2008.
Wow.
Been a while.
And in TV, guys, he appeared in, amongst others, The Facts of Life, Magnum P.I., Knight Rider, A-Team, Hunter, Night Court, MacGyver, Quantum Leap, Cheers, and The X-Files.
Wow, he had a lot of 80s work.
His debut was on The Young and the Restless in 1973, right before he got a part in Alice.
I'm glad you mentioned Night Court because it got me, and you kept mentioning Markie Post. I'm like, man, how old is Markie Post now? She'll be 70 this year.
No, she won't.
She will.
Man.
How old does that make her now?
69.
Nice.